we're sowing cereals, the wheat, barley, peas, triticale, also some maize. Then we've got the herbage plants, plantain, chicory, things like that, and then the range of brassicas that we're sowing in the spring. And then in the autumn, a lot of different pasture type species, grasses and clovers, and also cereals in the autumn as well. In terms of setting up the machine, we've really only got a depth setting that we have to vary depending on if we're changing from large seeds to small seeds. But other than that, we haven't got any settings that we need to change. We obviously we change the hydraulic pressure from the cab, and the depth, we can go from a range of different soil conditions and field conditions and not have to change anything other than even the seeding depth doesn't have to be changed. The main reason I started a business with Crosslot for contracting is this area has got a wide range of soil types, ranging from undulating dry sandy ground to damp sand, river silts, stones, peat, a lot of heavy ground. And on top of that we have quite a range of farming enterprises in this area. And so we sort of needed a machine that could handle all of those conditions, and I felt the Crosslot was the best way to do that, and as it's panned out, it's worked very well. If we're not changing from seed sizes, we can go from extremes of conditions and probably not even have to change the depth. Mainly just changing the oil pressure from the cab to give us different downforces in different soils, and on top of the soil types, along with the range of farming enterprises, we also get a range of residue conditions, and the residue handling ability of the Crosslot was one of the main reasons why I thought that it was going to be really good in this area. And we can go from having very hard bare soil condition to a loose stubble conditions like after maize grain and everything in between. And in fact, one of the things I'm particularly proud of is some of my clients, arable farmers with a full complement of cultivation gear, and it's almost like the Crosslot's their go-to machine in some ways, because they've got a situation that they can't handle, and they might get me to sow their winter wheat into maize grain stubble, or someone might have a particularly weedy crop that's been harvested that their tillage gear won't work in, and they get me to do that. So there are other contractors around this area with a range of other machines. I don't think any of them are doing the range of soil types and crop types and field situations that we can do. In a typical day in the autumn, we might go from sowing into sod conditions that have been sprayed out with glyphosate to a green feed maize conditions where there's long stalks on very firm ground, to undulating sandy country, and you just go from one thing to the other and virtually not have to change anything. And you sort of get to the point where you wonder why everybody hasn't got one of these things, just because of its versatility. And then you just turn up to a job and load it up, calibrate the seed and just put the hammer down and get going. So